Guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of a Maximilian Must Know. Today we're going to take a look at a quick take on a fragrance from the house of Euphorium, Brooklyn. Now, Euphorium, Brooklyn, for those of you who don't know, if you want any background information on this house, please check out the Scent Safari episode I did where we looked at a couple of their fragrances. 100 Petale, Soudois, I believe we looked at. A really cool indie house from Brooklyn, started by a gentleman named Stephen Derrick, who just really neat concept, sort of similar to Imaginary Authors, where these imaginary perfumers sort of created these scents years and years ago, and Stephen is sort of bringing them back to life. So really cool concept. These are available at Twisted Lily in Brooklyn. I've smelled mostly everything from the collection. I think the only two I've missed that I need to get my nose on, and maybe I can do a future video on those, there's Chocolato and Usar. I've heard really good things about Usar, so anxious to check those out. This one is called WALD, W-A-L-D, WALD, and it originally came out last year, but it was only available in I believe a perfumer's oil or perfumer's alcohol in the past, and now it's actually going to be available in an eau de parfum concentration with some slight tweaks. It's going to come in a 30 and 50 ml bottle. I don't have the price point as of filming this in front of me right now, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be like between $120 $150, I think. And the power and strength of these Euphorium Brooklyn fragrances, that's a pretty good deal. These are the real deal. The notes on WALD are thuja, fir, elemi, olabinum, juniper, artemisia, labdanum, clove, nutmeg, fern, grass, honey, maple sap, moss, fruity notes, vetiver, oud, birch, castoreum, and soil tincture. Now, I've actually worn this one for a couple of days now, so I feel like I have a pretty good handle on it. It's a really nice green smoke bomb. That's sort of the way I would describe this to you. I do like to give comparisons to scents that the community might be familiar with when I think they're relevant. And I think for me, the best way to describe this one is a cross between a Serge Lutens fragrance called Fille en Aiguille and a fragrance by Profumum Aroma called Arso. Fille en Aiguille is a very piney, resinous, almost balsamic fragrance, and Arso is a very smoky, dark, woody, burnt fragrance. To me, this smells like being in the middle of the woods. Pine trees all around you. It's cold, there's frost everywhere, and then in the middle there's a clearing in the middle of all these pine trees, and you have a huge bonfire, and the smoke is roaring, and you get that dense, thick, burnt wood smell with the smoke mingling with the pine. At the top, for me, the other notes don't really exist in this one. It really starts to sweeten up though as it sits on your skin. After an hour or so, I feel like the honey and the maple sap come out. It's not super sweet, but just enough to sort of round out the real the smoke. There's some spice. But I think that if you are really interested in this scent, then you really need to just know it's about pine and smoke. Now, when it really dries down, it becomes very green and pleasant and a little bit fougere-like. Very wearable after an hour or so, but you have to get through a very intense opening, which I really like. I don't know, just want to make sure, let you guys be aware that that's going to come on at the top. It's going to be really, really tough at the top in terms of, not tough in terms of a tough fragrance, but just very, very intense and bracing. It's a really nice fragrance with an exceptional quality. I think if you're considering it, you have to consider it as a cold weather fragrance. This is a great, great winter or holiday scent. And I think if you like slumber house fragrances and some of the darker Serge Lutens fragrances, then this is going to be right up your alley. On all these Euphorium fragrances, the quality is just through the roof. This is a very thick and viscous juice. There's a very high concentration of oils in this one, you could tell, and it's just a magnificent representation of smoky pine being out in the forest in cold weather. So I want to thank Stephen for letting me smell this. He always has an open invitation to send me stuff and have me do a quick take on my channel. And guys, let me know if you've checked this house out, Euphorium Brooklyn. What are your thoughts on Euphorium Brooklyn? Is this one you'd want to check out? What fragrance do you like best from Euphorium Brooklyn? Which one do you think looks most up your alley? And would you like to see a fragrance I haven't talked about from Euphorium Brooklyn featured on this channel? I want to thank you guys so much for watching this quick take. I want to thank Steven so much for sending me WALD, this preview, and I'll see you guys again real soon with more videos. Guys, you already know what it is. Just meeting you.